Recording in progress.
Recording in progress.
Progress. Oh, I should change the notes to actually reflect that of the episode we're doing.
I've got that.
I haven't done my note watch through the last Evo yet. I did watch it once though. I thought I try and watch those twice when I can. Those
Um,
are short.
those are more watchable than a lot of things.
Yes.
I'm biased because that's one of my favorite shows ever. So,
Hmm. Well, yeah. And the way I'm going to put that out, maybe next week I'll just have one come out every day. That's why I've been trying for that particular one. It's kind of sandwiched in between all the Disney movies.
I don't know. Yeah, don't remember whether I said that was a bad idea or not, but it might be a bad idea. I don't know.
It might not be. We'll see. Actually, as far as listeners, I mean, fewer people listen to the Ava ones than the Disney ones, but people
Hmm.
seem to be listening to them. So whatever.
It's more like just you don't want to make people unsubscribe.
Yeah, but it's pretty clear what's happening there because when it, some people like it. I think when they get like a
I'm sure
compressed
some
air
people do like
hose.
it.
I'm
I
just
was just
looking.
making sure my fucking microphone was in the right place.
Yeah, the Avas
Place.
have half the regular ones, but this one has a fair amount of listeners, so that's still like 50 to 70 for the Avas. That's not bad. Okay, let's do this one. Are you ready to
Okay.
scorp? It's scorpion time.
It's scorpion time.
I went to the drugstore and back. Oh yeah, the drugstore near my house. It's painted on the side of the wall. The real drugstore.
Oh, I love that.
They don't have
Of the
real.
random Japanese wanting to commit to some English thing they don't understand.
Right. Oh, sorry.
Mm,
I just screwed up my thing, but I realized I need to give you the prologue before.
I've got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay. Then they'll
Yeah, I
you
finally remembered to just take it off the internet before we started.
right. Hello, welcome to Time Enough Podcast, where we crawl through all the episodes of the Twilight Zone like a little blue scorpion. It's the blue scorpion today.
I
I have
saw a
Matt.
werewolf drinking a blue scorpion at Trader Vic's and his hair was perfect.
This is Jeff here. It's Jeff over there. Hi,
Hi,
Jeff.
Jeff. Hi,
Hi,
Jeff. It's
Jeff.
Jeff.
It's Jeff. It's Jeff. We
Jeff.
better. Okay. You're Mark. I'm Matt. We better do that, or it's going to get real confusing. I did like
Sure.
how the name thing was amusing and not confusing in this one, so that worked out well.
That was handled pretty well. I think a lot of things in this episode were not, though.
It's a mixed bag. I, this is where are you? You're watching some of these. I know you watched Nightmare because we did a podcast
I
on that. You saw the
I
comedian. Is
watched
that
the
it?
first two and this. Yeah, I meant to catch up, but it's actually kind of difficult to watch this without paying for it.
Oh, okay. I've had it on a thumb drive for like 5 years, so I'm covered.
Yeah, I could download it.
You can thumb it.
Could thumb it. Could thumb through this thing. I think this one is clearly from IMDb. It's higher rated than most of the other ones in season one. I don't think it's very good. I think that Nightmare at 30,000 feet was a little better, but that one was also not fantastic. I'm kind of seeing the cracks here. This has stuff in it. I do really wonder, and I wonder if you feel this way as well. Would I forgive this stuff if it was happening in the 60s series?
Hmm. This one, the Blue Scorpion does to me feel a little bit more like a 60s Twilight Zone. So I guess it is the time to have that conversation because Nightmare at 30,000 feet definitely did not. Um,
No.
yeah, but this, I mean, except for a few F-bombs, this one does
Mm.
feel a little bit more like the 60s one. These episodes like to really hit the social and political buttons very hard, where this one basically doesn't do that until the last
It
minute.
completely fails though, because it established if you want to take into account that the Twilight Zone needs rules, right? Anything in the Twilight Zone needs rules. The rules have already been established that we don't really the kid on the beach, his name is Kyle and he finds the gun. That doesn't mean that Kyle's gonna die. It could be like a one of 1,000 Kyles.
No, I saw this. I guess you didn't watch replay yet, but to me, this seemed like a watered down version, the end of the replay ending, which the
Oh.
end of the replay ending. The end of replay I thought was very effective and it had a similar vibe to this. Whereas, yeah, this one was a little bit more like, I mean, you have a thought experiment at the end. Oh, is it going to be for that Kyle? You're kind of waiting for a Pulp Fiction sudden, gun outburst. And we know that gun likes to shoot when it feels like it. So, there is certainly a bit of tension. But like you said, it could be anybody. And, yeah.
Also, I mean, come on. They weren't going to show a kid shooting another kid in the head on the beach.
And it's been a lake. Does it still work? I mean, I know it's like
Lake,
supernatural and stuff, but it's been in a lake for at least a few minutes. That's probably not good for a gun. I'm
for
not a gun
30
guy, so I don't
seconds.
know. Yeah.
I
That
mean,
should
it's a supernatural gun. I guess it could do whatever it wants.
yeah,
It
that's
hates
what
the dark, so it washed itself up on the beach. Um, yeah, the premise is flimsy as hell. It's fun. It's fun. The all the Jeffs is fun. I don't know overall, but it's like the premise is flimsy, and almost none of these characters act like actual human beings.
Well, let's get
That's a
into a little
major
deeper,
problem.
but we'll get
Okay.
the business out of the way first. I'll do the trivia. You have a prologue. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Original air date was May 23rd, 2019. Craig William McNeil directed. He's been working mostly on genre TV shows, having directed episodes of Westworld and Them. Is Them a show? I mean, maybe I'm thinking of
Yes.
It. Okay.
I was thinking of Us. I was like, is that a TV show counterpart to the movie Us? It's like it's not. It's
Yeah.
unrelated.
No. Okay. Yeah. It's Us and Them. Like a Pink Floyd song. I don't know. I don't know.
I
Don't
hate
don't
that
come up
song.
with too vague a name for your show. I guess it's probably worth doing, or no one's ever going to know what it is.
Well, you can do it. You just make sure you're the first one. But
Yeah.
there's already a movie called Them that has ants in it, and that's probably better.
Yeah. That stuck in my mind. Glenn Morgan wrote the script, an executive producer of the show. Morgan was a showrunner for The X-Files for certain seasons and creator of Space Above and Beyond. This is the third of four episodes he'll write for The Twilight Zone. Chris O'Dowd played Jeff Stork. He starred on the TV show The IT Crowd and had a recurring role on Girls. Okay, there's one with a pretty vague title that seems to have people know what Girls is.
But again, it was
Got
sort of the
Adam
first
Driver.
the first show to do that. Really, there wasn't a show called Girls before.
He's also appeared
Hmm.
in films like Bridesmaid and Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which I've never seen. That's past Tim Burton's expiry date, I guess.
Yeah, I don't. Is that a Roald Dahl property?
I don't even know. I mean, I'm like Tim Burton's trying to do Harry Potter is what the poster looks like. But again, did not watch the movie,
Okay.
don't know.
So Tim Burton actually directed it, is what you're saying.
I believe that's correct. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think that's an actual film he directed. What's the last
Had
Tim
no
Burton
idea.
film that you actually enjoyed watching? I guess is a good question.
The last Tim Burton film that I watched was Dark Shadows. I did enjoy it.
Hmm.
I've just skipped a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I've heard people say Sweeney Todd's okay.
I
Uh,
fell asleep watching
I haven't
Sweeney
seen it,
Todd,
so
and I did not enjoy it while I was awake. I think it's just I don't know,
it's too
man.
big
Yeah, he
eyes.
directed a bunch of episodes of Wednesday. I tapped out after one episode of that.
Oh.
I'm just over it. I don't know. I hate to be like that. It's like
Hmm.
oh, I guess Frank and Weenie came out after Dark Shadows. I saw that,
Yeah, but
which I
that's
thought
not
that
his
was all right.
No, right?
No, it's
Kind
not
of
even
like
close.
it's one of those
No,
twin
not in
movie
the
things, right? So,
not in the same universe as Paranorman. Like it's not even not remotely close. It's serviceable. It's fine.
hmm.
It has a 6.9. That's probably about what it should be rated.
Moving along, Amy Landecker was Annie Stork. She's been in movies like A Serious Man and Dan in Real Life and starred on the TV show Transparent. The voice of Bob Jeff was James Morrison. He often works with Glenn Morgan and appeared in Space Above and Beyond. He was also the CTU director on the show 24. That's a show I never did. Did you ever 24? You spend the hours?
No, I may have like seen a couple of them just casually, but I obviously didn't know what was going on. I've
And I think
I've
you're
heard it
supposed
was
to
good.
follow it from hour to hour. So
I think
maybe you've seen Bob Jeff because you only heard him in this episode.
that was during the period of time where I just straight up didn't watch TV and didn't have a TV.
Hmm.
Like that would be basically from about the late 90s until the mid 2010s. I just was one of those people who was like, I don't have a TV.
Yeah, why not?
Anyway,
Can you
why
give
not?
us an opening prologue for this one, please?
Okay. Jeff. Just kidding. Here sits Professor Jeffrey Mingus Stork, a man who holds a doctorate in anthropology but possesses little true knowledge of himself. Today, Professor Stork is surrounded by the many familiar artifacts that shaped his father's life and the one unknown object that ended it. As a scientist, he's about to embark on his darkest research project yet. His conclusion will lie somewhere between the barrel of a gun and the outer regions of the Twilight Zone.
All right. Excuse me. Uh, so you're somewhat critical on this one. This is not like my favorite. I didn't mind watching it last night, although. Uh, how'd you feel
My
about
issues are
the Chris O'Dowd performance? I mean, he's maybe he's not like scripted like a human, but I thought it was kind of an interesting vibe.
he is basically the glue that holds it together because his performance is great. Obviously a great actor. I don't think I've seen him in anything. I know I need to watch the IT Crowd. Don't be mad at me, listeners. But yeah, I I thought he was great in it. The issue is everyone he interacts with is like an insane moron. Like his wife, uh, nothing she does makes sense really. It's like she does things that you would expect an ex-wife to do, but none of them are in the right order. Like it doesn't make sense that she's just sort of out of nowhere. I have an attorney to protect us both, and then it's just going after everything, but then is just suddenly not going after everything because of him killing the home invader. It's like you don't do things like that unless you need or want money. So it doesn't that doesn't work for me. I don't understand the motivation that this guy is clearly they're clearly friends, right? They're clearly friendly with each other. And it doesn't make sense that on a dime she's like, I'm taking half your stuff, and then is like, I'm not taking half your stuff. People only do things like that because they're broke
Maybe
or
she's
because they
broke.
hate you. Yeah, but if she's broke, then she wouldn't have backed off entirely as soon as he killed the home invader guy.
I mean, I
Like
guess
that
I
just doesn't make sense.
fortunately haven't had these life experiences, so I don't know. There's some things like when you actually get in the thick of it, like, yeah.
Every I honestly, for the most part, haven't been like close to people who are getting like a really ugly divorce. But in any case, when that's happened, it's either been like basically like just pure hatred and spite, and that's why things get litigious. And even then, like litigious usually means there's, it's kind of more like they're just protecting it doesn't it I've never it feels like some Hollywood writer was told what a divorce was like, and it's kind of like this weird it doesn't fit with the kind of realistic tone of the series to me.
But you and
The
I couldn't really write those scenes either. It would be us
I
trying
would
to
write
figure
it
out what
I would write it better
differently.
than this. Like I would write it better than this. You just give her like an actual reason, like he does something unforgivable. It's like her her meeting someone else and then deciding to lawyer up makes less sense than him meeting someone else and her deciding to lawyer up. You know what I mean?
I guess this is one of those times you have to actually think about class. Like he's a professor, but is he a community college professor? Is he a Harvard professor? Like, yeah, these look like big shiny lawyer offices. So I'm guessing he's probably a prestige professor.
I mean, he seems to be doing okay, but didn't he live with his dad? I feel like that's
I
if you're
had
really
the
making a lot of money, you would put your dad up somewhere else.
It seemed like I think the impression I got is well, up until recently, he maybe had been living with his wife because he still wants to do counseling and stuff, and he's kind of like maybe taken he now that there's issues, he's kind of like hanging out in this house of suicide as a refuge or something. I didn't feel like that was his because he didn't
Hmm.
recognize a lot of the objects there, or at least it didn't seem like
Yeah.
they were like he just certainly didn't have his imprint on that house because everything was his hippie dad's, right?
It's possible that I sort of missed that. Um, because I was a little confused why he was like looking at the bullets early on, then he gets the gun after he was looking at the bullets from like, What? Like I guess he had the clip there, but the gun didn't wasn't there.
Yeah, I guess the impression I had, he was kind of there like to, kind of like wrap things up, but that was not actually his place of residence. I think we see him in a different, like his actual place at some point. Am I wrong about that?
I don't remember. I thought it was maybe he was at a different place and I didn't realize it was a different place. It's also just it's framed the opening narration that I just read frames it as sort of like he's going to solve a mystery about what happened to his dad, and that's not what the episode was at all.
Well,
The
I
whole
assume his
thing is
dad just
just
went ape nuts and shot himself. Like
I
he
don't
went
know. We
so
don't
nuts with
we
that
don't
gun.
know.
Because we
There was
almost see Jeff
absolutely
do that
nothing.
as well.
Well, yeah, but it's like well we don't know anything. I feel like we were given this initial this is an interesting mystery, but the episode itself was just this guy hanging out with this gun that was making him crazy. Like that was basically it. It was like he was hanging out with a gun. The gun they became best friends, and then they broke up at the
Me and
end.
my gun. Yeah. That was maybe where I had the most critical thing. So the divorce stuff didn't bother me as much as you, but it did bother me that they just turned the key on crazy, like way too fast on it.
Yeah,
Like it's
like
one
all
scene
of
he's
it.
still reasonable, the next scene he's like, like stage 8 nuts.
Yeah, and there's no real. I don't need an explanation why everyone's named Jeff all of a sudden,
That's
but
hysterical. That was funny. That was great. I did like
it
that.
was good. It was good enough that I didn't care, but it's like it didn't really change anything except for that one guy was Jeff also, which still doesn't. I don't know how you explain that. Were those people always Jeff? Was this like the quickening, like the Highlanders, like all the Jeffs are drawn to where the Jeff bullet is,
Well, I
or a
assume he was
bunch of
meeting new
Kyles?
people because he didn't know the divorce lawyer before. He certainly didn't know
Yeah,
what is it, Bob Jeff, where Jeff is a last name. Who has the last name Jeff? Is that a
that
real
was
thing?
that is actually the biggest problem I have with this episode is the entire Bob Jeff thing, because that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you say, oh, they say this gun is cursed. Please send me this gun. Like that doesn't make any sense at all. And for some reason, that guy was his his voice acting sounded so like I guess literally phoned in. He didn't sound like he actually
He's on a
believed
phone.
anything he was saying, but he was saying all this absurd things like the gun doesn't like the darkness, which was actually true.
Mm.
Um, and it's like all of a sudden in 5 minutes he has somebody lined up to pay $100,000 for the gun. It's like he knows all this stuff about the gun, which that's I'm sorry, no matter how into guns you
What
are,
if we
you don't
never
have all the
see him? What if he is not a real person and that is kind of like the gun talking to him through the phone? Which the
that
episode
would
doesn't
make more
really set up
sense.
at all. I'm sitting here
No,
extrapolating, but it still works. It works in a
that would be
fan theory
better.
way.
If they had a little thing where at the end they cut to the other end of the line and there's like a different gun with like a red scorpion that was talking on the phone, that
But
would
he
have made this
sounded
episode
like
good.
this. Hey, buddy.
That would have made this episode switch from bad to good because the anti-gun message at the end didn't work. This does not work as an anti-gun message. I am opposed to I'm pro gun control. I don't like guns. I think that there's a very obvious connection between guns and violence. I don't think this episode works at all as an anti-gun episode or a gun
Well,
control
it
episode.
doesn't really make that shift until the last minute, because up to then, it's like, yeah, he has this weird gun and stuff, but it is very much in the '60s mode, right? Where it's not necessarily
Yeah.
commenting on that because no one really thought about commenting on gun control in the early '60s, I think. Uh,
There might have been
there might have been something,
something.
but in general, there certainly wasn't like a movement or anything, right? Um, and then the
No.
last one pushes the button hard. Now, you haven't been watching the whole series. The last couple of episodes were pushing their buttons extremely hard. So this
Mm.
one really is it's interesting that it kind of lays off it. I don't know, maybe it was like uh I don't know since it's an anthology show, I don't know if they're even thinking about like order and how they're going to come out and the tone, but this one
No, I
it
hope
has
they
a
aren't.
major tone shift from the last say 2 episodes.
Uh-huh. I mean, I don't think anthology shows should be sequenced. I think that that specifically shouldn't.
I haven't seen the last episode of the series yet, but I have been told that it will tie a bit of a thread through all of these season 1 episodes.
It says in trivia that the blurry man from Blurryman appears.
Yeah. The blurry man from
So
Blurryman. Apparently, the blurry man's
Blurryman
been
from Blurryman,
blurring around all over the place. But
blurry
so
around.
I mean, this series definitely is not serialized or anything, but it does have that little connective thing, which certainly the original show never did. And I don't think the '80s one did, and I've never seen the Whitaker one. So
We have another 1015 reference in here, um,
yes,
because that's part of the gun serial number.
oh, okay. I was like, please tell me because I was too dumb to catch it. But we have been having
Mm.
more and more of those. So yeah.
It's easier when you've only seen 3 episodes and one of them had 1015 in it.
Oh,
Maybe two of
okay.
them.
That's been cropping up in all the episodes. That's one of the things that apparently is
Mm.
going to end up being part of the Blurry Man vibe.
Uh,
Blurry
well,
Man vibe.
Blurry Man vibe. Yeah, I just don't think it works because, as I said earlier, it's just the rules. The rules aren't established firmly enough that I know what these two kids who found this gun are going to do. So like, I don't know if they're going to kill a guy named Kyle or that Kyle, because we know that the person who finds the gun isn't necessarily going to shoot themselves.
Right,
We
reality
don't
doesn't
know.
have rules. Just being in possession of the blue scorpion does not 100% mean it's going to drive you nuts and then you shoot yourself, which if we
Yeah,
had rules, that would be the case, right? Like
yeah, and
one,
I mean,
the
it is.
monkey's paw will take your wish and turn it into your nightmare.
It's honestly patently absurd that someone kills like a home invader and everything's cool, because that just doesn't happen. Like I'm sorry, generally if you like are the good guy with the gun and you shoot the criminal, probably what happens is you're traumatized forever and you're sued by their family.
Well, this guy was traumatized forever anyway, and the family was his ex-wife who was like, "Thank you."
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's unrealistic. I feel like if she really hates him enough to sue him for that stuff, like I said earlier, she would not back off because of this.
This
It's just
episode hit me in the
nonsense.
bass. Don't take the jazz bass, right?
I have in my notes, it's like, of course he's a bass player.
Yeah, don't take the jazz
uh,
bass. Uh,
would you be like really mad if like you played your bass in a famous place and then they tried to take it,
well, his dad played
like
the bass in the famous
Monterey?
place, right? Played the bass in the famous
Okay,
place. That's kind of fun to
played the
say.
bass in the famous place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just nobody. Nothing makes sense. Nobody acts like a human being except for regular Jeff. I'm just gonna call him regular
Who
Jeff.
does get most of the screen time, to be fair. I mean, we have lots of scenes that's
Yeah,
just him.
this could. It feels like there are a bunch of different ways they could have written this, where there were where the gun made sense, you know, and they had
We
something to
have
say. It
had
just felt like a
there
mess.
has been several of these, and unfortunately, I'm going to say I think all of the Morgan ones count. The three episodes we've done, which was a Traveler, this one, and 6 degrees of movement. I don't remember what it was. 6 degrees of whatever it was.
Kevin
But
Bacon.
yeah, all of those, I think we were kind of like, yeah, I could have used maybe one more pass, one more draft.
Yeah, it's like okay, of the two that I've been on for 20,000, 30,000,
You're
thirty
getting
thousand.
higher, getting
I
higher.
almost said 30,000 leagues under the sea. Nightmare at 30,000 feet.
30,000 leagues under the sea.
Hey, it could happen. Um, yeah, so Voyage at 30, Voyage at 30, what's wrong with me?
You say
The
Voyager?
the airplane, I was going to say Voyage at 30,000 feet, which
Oh.
is also wrong. The airplane episode was like trying to like kind of constantly stick and move to dodge your expectations, where this one just is content to be stupid. And I think
Here to
that
be
is a
stupid. That's a
I
Weird
would
Al Yankovic
rather,
novel.
yeah, I would rather have the frantically trying to surprise me episode than the, yeah, it's a evil gun.
So the home
Everyone's named
invader was
Jeff.
Jeff, right? Okay. Because I
Yeah,
wrote, I bet Jeff is going to die by the end of this, but I wrote that, of course, meaning all Jeffs. So
he should have killed Bob Jeff, because Bob Jeff was a stupid character that didn't make any
I'm
sense.
I'm gonna make I'm gonna headcanon this one where Bob Jeff is the gun talking to him.
Yeah, like I said, if that would have made the episode better, if it was a gun or if it was, I don't know, his dad. I don't know. um, I was frankly, this was the the saddest part is it started out like, wow, that's an interesting mystery, and there's nothing about nothing was solved. There was no information. Like, not, in fact, you could just show me the first 5 minutes of this and the last 5 minutes of it, and I would have already understood that bullet name gun man. You know? Oh,
You
his
wouldn't have
name's on
gotten
the
hit.
bullet.
You wouldn't have gotten the scene of him awkwardly going to the shooting gallery.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that like
Those
the
people act like real people. When that guy walks in like that, you do start checking him.
I didn't, but it's like I didn't learn anything from this episode at
You learn
all.
how a shooting gallery works.
I learned that people's names are on bullets sometimes, and then the bullets will kill them. That's like all I learned. You learn that in the first 2 minutes, and that's it. That's what
It's
this
a
episode is.
it's a little bit like Minority Report, I guess. Maybe the gun's a precog.
Yeah, I guess so, but that doesn't explain why everyone's named Jeff. What like why
Because
is
that's
everyone named
funny.
Jeff? It just doesn't make any sense.
It's like at my
Like the more
office
I
a few years ago, and everyone was named Matt. So I got to be Matt because I was the first one there. And then of course, we mentioned Maddie on podcast before. And then for a while, there was a
Mhm.
guy that had to be Matthew. So there was a Matt, Maddie, and Matthew at the office for a while. We didn't just all do Matt, but these people aren't working together, so they don't have to do that.
Are there less Matts there now because one of them was shot by a bullet that said Matt on it?
One definitely no, the other no information. Could
Hmm.
could have happened by now.
Well, we've that taught me more than the episode did.
You're
It's
welcome.
just
I'm a teacher.
this is just yeah, the more I talk about it, the like worse it gets, which is extremely frustrating
So I feel
because
I'm putting up like this slight line of defense, but it's only slight because this isn't my favorite one. Um,
yeah, I knew I was probably going to like this less than you did. I don't like hate it. It's just extremely frustrating how like dumb it is.
I guess the
Where
ultimate
it could
guy
have
with a
worked.
gun movie's Taxi Driver. So when you do this kind of thing, you're. Although this one also seems to have a little bit of a noir edge, but then it's got the hippie thing going on. So that's a several conflicting vibrations, man.
This is worse. The movie Joker is 100 times better than this movie and more intelligent and more thoughtful,
Hmm.
and it teaches you
Hmm.
more things, and it's
Hmm.
more it's I don't know. There's like Ballistic X versus Sever teaches you more than this.
Folie à
I
deux?
don't know. Fully, I stopped watching that after five
Oh,
minutes
I
because
never
it sucked.
started watching that. So
But nobody
that's a
made me watch that
jukebox
for a
musical, isn't it?
podcast.
Is that a jukebox
Yeah,
musical?
it
Easels.
is. I'm offended by that. But I stopped watching it not even before a song even happened.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, this is I think this is kind of a whiff. I having a hard time this is I would rate this lower than most episodes of the original series that aren't like Mr. something
Does something crazy.
Hocus Pocus and Frisbee or something. Or
The one was Commissioner Gordon. What was that? Yeah.
Mr. Dinkle
Yeah,
the
there's a
Strong.
one. No, that's a different one, but yeah, the misters.
Yeah, something with a Mister.
That's usually a
Yeah,
bad sign.
something. Usually that's
They could have called this Mr. Jeff Gets a Gun.
they should have just called this Mr. Jeff gets a gun. Mr. Gun gets a Jeff. Yeah, and also I don't know. The gun looked cool.
Oh, the gun
Am
was
I supposed
badass.
to? Yeah, but I don't know if am I supposed to feel bad for thinking the gun looked cool?
No, it does
I'm
look
supposed
cool.
to.
I think part of the thing of the show is it does want to, how people can become obsessed with objects, and if the object looks cool, even if it is a gun, that's going to help, right? Um,
Yeah, but I can't help but think that this is one of the more highly rated episodes of season one because it like doesn't really come down anti-gun, and people were like, finally some stuff that's not anti-gun woke nonsense. Yeah, like it might just be people who thought the other ones were too preachy because this one just doesn't mean anything.
but it is a streaming show, so and it came out within 2 months, so it's not like this was being made with any audience feedback in mind, I think, or being had. I think it was, a streaming show. You just make it all, then you put it out, right?
I mean, but that's still people are still consuming it, and this. I mean, people still have to watch it for it to
Yeah.
for it
Again,
to
that
succeed.
maybe that's where this at least the show went several directions because I'm like, yeah, I don't want or need a gun. I live in Japan. Nobody has a gun in Japan. So, but oh yeah, that jazz bass. Okay, I get that. Don't take that. I can get obsessed with that.
What if the jazz bass had the word Jeff on it and he had to beat a guy to death with the bass?
And then you could still play it afterwards, man. Those guitars are well built.
Yeah, the Blue Scorpion. There probably is a bass called the Blue Scorpion.
Yeah, probably. Although I'd say a Telecaster would be the best murder weapon because then you can like shred after you use it.
I mean, I'd just use one of those aluminum guitars because they're metal.
Yeah, well, you want to beat someone to death with a
Is there a steel
with
guitar?
some timber.
Well, I want the steel guitar. Beat
That's like
someone
a
to death with
bat
that.
fight.
It would weigh like 100 pounds. You can barely pick it up.
Let's do some questions on this one.
Okay.
Who in this episode goes in or through the Twilight Zone?
Uh, the Blue Scorpion.
The gun itself is from the
Yes,
Twilight. You're
the gun
saying
went through the
okay.
gun went to the Twilight Zone. The gun is a character. The gun doesn't
Oh,
like the
absolutely.
light.
That's why I like the idea of Bob Jeff being the voice of the gun.
Think about it this way,
I'm
like
worth 100,000.
maybe
There's a seller now, a buyer now. Because the gun
what
knows he's
if
going to have to shoot a guy named Jeff in the end, right? He's not selling the gun.
well, what if the gun has always until now gone through life just showing up and then making people kill themselves, and then Jeff is like put up all this resistance, and there are all these other Jeffs, and then he finally ended up just wielding the gun to kill the one Jeff that it's permissible to kill in this entire episode, and then it makes his whole life better. Like, how weird is that? I'm a cursed weapon and you used me to fix your life. What the hell is that? I'm in the Twilight Zone. That's my
Should he
answer.
have shot the wrong Jeff then? Would it have been
Yeah, I
better if
think he
he
was
shot the
no, I mean,
boyfriend and he's just
I,
he goes his ending is hell.
no, I'm just saying that I think he was supposed to shoot the boyfriend or himself or the lawyer or the gun salesman or that guy who was jogging or I don't whatever, any number of other Jeffs, a lot of them.
Right.
He was supposed to like stand up on a tower and shoot an oil tanker that exploded and killed 20 Jeffs. That's
Hmm.
what he's supposed to do.
Does Jeff Prime deserve his trip? Does he deserve it?
I mean, you mean does the Blue Scorpion deserve its trip through the Twilight Zone? Yes, it does. I think
What
it
is
needs to
what it is.
reconsider its life. It
Hmm.
needs to reconsider its like path because it's a cursed object, which definitely means it's not making anybody's life better if it's like wants people to shoot themselves.
How about
So I think
Professor
that
Jeffrey Mingus Stork? Because it's Mingus, by the
oh,
way. That's a bit of a ham-fisted reference for bases, isn't it? But anyway,
he likes music.
well, I guess if the dad
Uh
was a serious bass player and he might make that his middle name. Okay, makes sense actually.
no, he doesn't because I was not clearly there was nothing that clearly communicated why he even deserved to be broken up with or divorced. I guess he was like a little bit neurotic or something.
No, probably more a
Did
little
you
bit.
catch anything? Was there any like clear indicator of him being like a crappy husband that I missed?
Well, like you said, with the wife making such rash choices, maybe she was not the best person.
You think it was just entirely her and he was like
I mean, we only get what two or
totally.
three scenes of her, like in mostly in the lawyer's office, which is not the place for a pleasant interaction with anyone anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't think he deserved it. I don't he
He
didn't
wasn't
even want
looking
to
for
murder
it; it just
anybody.
came his way. Yeah, just it showed up on his in his lap, literally.
Do you know how many people
But
would
then his
get that?
life works out in the end. His life's fantastic by
Yeah.
the end, right? He's a
I
hero.
would I would say more than 50% of Americans, if they got this cursed gun and were going through this, would just kill the boyfriend. No, just like, I'm clearly have a magical object. They would kill the boyfriend, sell the gun for $100,000, move to Mexico.
Hmm. So you're going for the island retreat, not that Mexico's an island. I just decided I go to an island instead of Mexico.
No, Mexico is an island. I just think that this is clearly a decent human being because a lot of people would just go ahead and do the murder because it was like, if you have even a touch of schizophrenia and you see a bullet with Jeff on it, and you're, have you ever had not like that specifically, but have you ever had some kind of thing that seemed like a sign, and you were just like, yeah, I'm going with it, even
Oh
though
yeah,
it's
I'm
like
all about
not
the
a good idea.
synchronicities.
I hate it. I like the specific instance I'm thinking of is when I was had a crush on somebody when I was much younger, and she liked somebody who was older than me, even though she was younger than me, and she just sort of said, "You and so are going to get married someday." And I was like, for some reason, I took that as I should date that other person, and that was a terrible idea.
Hmm.
She just wanted me to get out of her face. She was just telling me that to get me off of her and onto somebody else.
No,
You
that
know,
makes
there's
sense.
nothing there. I mean, there was something there. It was a cursed relationship. It was
Cursed
like
relationship.
the blue scorpion
Good
of
nobody gave you a
relationships.
blue scorpion. Uh,
Um, yeah, I mean, I did get cheated on. So
let's put
no,
this
I
one.
would never blue scorpion anybody. Just for the record, I would never shoot anybody for like infidel. I would only shoot somebody if they were going to shoot me first. Because like screw that.
Well,
I don't
again,
know.
this guy did commit murder or killed someone in the end. I guess the courts aren't going to call it murder, but
That's another thing is how stupid is it that they're struggling and he is reaching the whole time they're struggling, he's reaching for the gun that is openly on the dash. And Jeff, evil Jeff, like doesn't even see it. It's like he doesn't even think, I'll get the gun. He's just like it's so stupid. That's a bad scene. Anyway.
let's throw this one on the trip-o-meter. Zero not trippy, five very trippy. Where do you want to put it?
Um I have to be honest, it is kind of a 3.5.
Okay. Want to define that? Because I actually have a very different
Um
number than you today.
oh, well, I think it's pretty trippy. It doesn't fully commit to being trippy, but the idea of everybody being Jeff and the it can't get a full 5 because of how stupid everyone acts and how like it just you can't do the thing where the gun is obviously a weird cursed object, but the tension is broken by a guy who's like, "Hey, I've heard this gun doesn't like being in the dark. I'll give you $100,000 for it. Please, sir, send me this cursed object."
That's the
That is
gun
like
talking to you. It was he
if
was never going to
it's
be able to get rid of it without
that would
shooting
have
someone.
it would have a higher score if the gun was on the phone.
Hmm. I'm
How
keeping
about
it that
you?
way. Actually, trippy wise, I don't. Maybe I like the episode better than you, but I found it significant enough trippy. I was going like 1.5 because the whole
Mm,
story kind of reeks of and this might be part of what is getting your gizzard is it sounds kind of like a I don't know a campfire summer campfire ghost tale. This story
yeah.
basically plays like that, and then the gun shot a Jeff. Then the kids at the end, and then the kids got it. Just it sounds like something that they'd say at Boy Scout camp, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh,
Be
I
careful when
feel
you go
like
to that
there's
shooting range the next day because they have rifles there.
I haven't even really nitpicked everything. The one time where there's just the scene with the student telling him about how she thinks her objects are real, which doesn't really add anything except for randomly that relates exactly to what he's going through.
Toy Story does that, doesn't it? It runs with that idea.
Does Toy Story have a scene where Andy's in a room with somebody who's like, I think my toys might be alive, but I'm not sure?
His
That's what it would
neighbor,
be
his
like.
neighbor has
Does he
that,
get
right?
Yeah, but his toys are actually
Because
alive.
Woody talks to Sid.
But yeah, the student is like, I think my shoes are alive, and I think my scarf is alive. I think my but 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 that's just a weird red
Hey, in
herring.
Japan, it's
Unless,
a Shinto. Everything's got its own spirit, right?
well, it's that doesn't.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's what they were going for in this episode, to be clear, but
but yeah, it does. But it does really kind of seem like a campfire story that's told by somebody who's making it up as they're telling it.
well, let's how would this one work with the editing scissors? This episode runs 43 minutes, I think. Hold on, I can tell 41 minutes. What if we cut 16 minutes out and sharpened it? Do you think then you'd have more of a Twilight Zone, or is it inherently flawed?
Honestly, as much as I've complained about it, I didn't feel like it was overly long. It just I didn't really like much of any of I can't think of any of it that stands out except for everybody being named Jeff, which you don't need as I guess you could have just cut if you cut everything with him on the phone with the gun store guy, which like it's just there to feed you exposition, which you get that exposition at least one other time anyway because he's like in the room and that like guy was telling him how the gun doesn't like the light. Wasn't that a thing? There's like a
Yeah.
guy who appeared.
Oh,
um,
right, right. But that's, I think, that one's clearly more of a supernatural event, and that does
yeah,
seem to be the gun basically talking to him, right?
but it
So that,
tells you the same thing that the guy on the phone tells you. So
well,
that
he's
yeah,
trying a
cut
different
that out.
approach. Yeah,
Cut
yeah.
that
It
whole
is
thing
same
out.
thing twice. That's true.
Cut the whole thing out. Maybe cut some of the divorce out because frankly, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It would make more sense.
It
The
just needs
divorce
to be
thing would
like
make
his
more
wife is
sense.
with another guy, because you do need to have like the new boyfriend to shoot
Frankly,
or to
well,
potentially shoot.
you could just have the lawyer. Like, why you don't even need the boyfriend. The lawyer could be named Jeff. You could kill that Jeff.
Hmm.
But frankly, that would have worked better if she wasn't in the show at all, because then you would get the feeling that she was really estranged and really distant, and you would be afraid because you don't see her. Oh, she must be a terrible woman, or maybe she's like really scared because he did something. But having her appear and just be like, seem just kind of so tired of his nonsense doesn't. Yeah, this is a big series of whiffs, and unfortunately the gag with everybody being named Jeff is kind of wasted, and it should have just been that. Should have just been Jeff, 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 and it should have been called Jeff, 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 Jeff.
Well, being John Malkovich kind of rocked that vibe.
That's fine. Do it again. Do it again. You know, that was inside John Malkovich's head. This is outside Jeff's head. So there you
Yeah.
go. It's completely different.
All right.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, what's his name? Chris O'Dowd, is that his name?
Yeah.
Did a good job. He held it down. It was watchable. It was just like the pull one thread and the whole thing kind of flops apart.
Pull
Like
the strings. Sorry.
yeah, don't pull the strings on this.
Since I was talking Tim Burton earlier.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess I'll wrap this one up for today. If you dig this one, we're over at podcastios.org and at Patreon under the same name. Time Enough Podcast. Give us a good rate, review. Mark and I talk Fast and Furious movies, really top 100 movies, bottom 100 movies over at Films and Filth. Podcast
Yep.
1999. We're doing some apes, some animated ape stuff is coming to
I'll
a
be wrapping up
close.
soon,
Wrapping
if
up
not
soon.
already
Yes, but
soon.
head there, dig it, hear whatever we weird stuff we say before or after the proper episode starts.
Yep. Hear what we say, and don't shoot anybody. You know, that's there you go. I gave you a better anti-gun message than this episode did.
Well, and if you're going to shoot someone, at least make sure you have like a single name you're focusing on.
Yeah, and make sure not to miss. I don't, I don't know why I said that.
I don't know either, but I
Anyway,
was like, good enough for me. Okay, I'm going to stop this one because I need to bumble off
yeah,
to
you
work in a
probably
few
got to go.
minutes.